Don't look now, but the Baltimore Ravens starting to make a little bit of a comeback in their season, winning the last three games, I should say. Now have a 4-5 record overall. And Dalton, a major reason why they're so much better this year is because their defense has improved so much.
Absolutely. The story is going to be on the surface. Oh, Lamar Jackson got healthy, and if he carries them back to a division title, it'll be all about him as a two-time MVP and all that. But at the end of the day, this Ravens defense had to get better from the way they were playing earlier in the season, and they've done that, making some adjustments. Now, you talk about a trade for the safety from the Chargers, Alohi Gilman. He's been playing solid, but they've also made another adjustment when it comes to their alignment. But let's look first at how bad the Ravens defense was playing those first 5 weeks of the season. Second worst run defense grade in the league. That was really the biggest problem. 17th in coverage grade, not great. 30th in EPA per play allowed, allowing successful plays at an almost 40% rate. That's a bottom five figure. So you just look at the way they played through the first 5 games. Wasn't very good across the board. There's really no two ways about it right now. You go to the last few games since week 6. They played 4 games. 10th in run defense grade, obviously a lot better than 30th. Up to 11th in coverage grade, getting better. Top 10 EPA per play allowed. Third best successful play rate they've allowed. They've gone from 40% almost to right around 30% here, third best in the league. So when you look at the defensive improvement here, that's really, to me, been the biggest catalyst over the last couple weeks, this 3-game win streak.
So did they just get better, or does something change in this defense?
Well, it's always a little bit of both, right? So let's take a look at their best player, their highest graded player, Kyle Hamilton, right? And what they did, what's funny about this, we were talking about this before recording, is that Kyle Hamilton last year, when the Ravens were struggling in the first half of the year and then got better in the second half, he basically moved exclusively back to free safety. And they said, look, we're going to play single high, we're going to simplify this thing, and you're just going to be the backbone of this secondary. When you look at what they did the first 5 weeks of this year, kind of a 50-50 split. Free safety, hanging around in the box, down at the nickel. We know Kyle Hamilton's good enough to do basically anything he wants in a defense, and he's going to perform regardless. Obviously, see a great 81.7 PFF grade there. Cool, that's going to happen. He's your best player. You should play like your best player, but it was causing other issues in the defense with him sitting back. So what did they do? The last 4 games now, they've basically taken him out of playing free safety. He is essentially their third linebacker at this point, alongside Roquan Smith and Teddy Buchanan, the rookie. That's what you're looking at, is 97.5%. He has played in the last 4 games 6 snaps at free safety. And you look at a 75 PFF grade, that might seem like a drop-off. It's really not much when you talk about a small sample, and you'll sacrifice 5-6 points to make the rest of your team better, which is exactly what he's done. So you look at this change in alignment, the exact opposite of what they did last year. Last year, they needed help in coverage. The coverage was awful the first half of the year. You move them back free, you're just fine. This year, the run defense has been struggling. You put them down in the boxes at big nickel, and what you see from the Ravens is they've got 5 and 6 defensive backs as much as on the field, as much as any team in football outside of Seattle, and Seattle has a guy in Nicky Manwari basically plays the same role. Kyle Hamilton's pretty much their third linebacker right now, but he's so athletic and so good at football that he's changing the entire defense.
Yeah, fewer than 2 snaps per game at free safety over the last 4 games for Baltimore. It's pretty crazy. So let's show some examples of how this Ravens defense really has changed with Hamilton kind of playing the third linebacker role.
All right, so what it is, there he is right here. Kyle Hamilton right here creeping up, blitzing into the B gap, what you're going to get. So you've got 1-2 linebackers here with Smith and Buchanan, and if you've got Kyle Hamilton against an extra offensive lineman here on the right side. You got a 6 offensive lineman, a Miami Dolphins team that wants to run the football. Okay, so let's look at what happens here. We're going to get a motion back this way. All right, we're going to get some guys on the backside eyeing that motion. Got to sit tight and respect it. So now what you had before this play was actually the 6 offensive lineman was on the other side. So Hamilton, what you want with him is him on the side of the formation with more passing threats. He wants to be the weak side linebacker, but because of the motion of this 6 offensive lineman, now he's got to play the strong side. Kyle Hamilton, for a lot of just nickel guys who are 5'10", 190, this would be a problem. For Kyle Hamilton at 6'4" and 220 playing the way he plays, it's not an issue. So what you're going to get is outside zone here, the classic scheme from the Dolphins. You're going to get here, you're going to get out here, try to reach. You're going to get Hamilton blitzing in the B gap. So this guard's got to pick him up. He's got to engage this guard and hold the B gap so this outside zone has to cut it back, and it can't get all the way out to the edge. Smith is going to stunt around him here to work this outside gap, the C gap out here, and everyone else is just going to flow into their gaps right in here. So What are we going to get here? Hamilton's going to get into the B gap. Now, the big thing when you're playing against outside zone, can't get your face crossed, right? Pretty good block out here. That's not bad. We're getting the block out here. Not bad from Miami, but what you're seeing here on the front side is that Kyle Hamilton knows, okay, I got to stay in this B gap and get to this outside shoulder. I cannot get reached here. So the fundamentals, this is exactly what a linebacker would have to do. Make sure you don't get your face crossed, force the cutback, because what a back is going to do in outside zone, he's going to get as far out as he can, and the first thing that crosses his face, then he's got to cut it back up. If you're Kyle Hamilton, you want to force the cutback into the rest of your defense. You can see already there, engaging the outside shoulder, and not just engaging and filling the gap, but he's getting in here against offensive linemen, and he's winning the battle. He gets a free hand here. He completely seals off this B gap along with Roquan outside of him. There's other good blocks happening here. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. We could get to the outside if Hamilton would have allowed us to. Instead, we've got the cutback into a free block, into a free rusher, I should say, here as that last man on line of scrimmage unblocked, and we've got a tackle for a short gain, even no gain here. Kyle Hamilton, it's kind of the play before the play, if you see what I'm getting at there, but the fact that he can engage a guard in an outside zone play like that is big time. That's linebacker stuff right there. You would never know he was a safety looking at that. Now, we're going to get down on the goal line. Let's get even tougher here. Everybody's in on the line of scrimmage. The Bears are 6 inches here from the end zone. So what you're going to see is all these tight ends. You got 3 tight ends and another offensive lineman right here. Now, it sounds funny, but Kyle Hamilton, as the last man in coverage over here, he's got this lineman in man-to-man coverage. Now, keep in mind, this is a Ben Johnson-led Bears offense. They will throw to offensive linemen if you give them the chance to. So the discipline to know, I've got man-to-man coverage. He's going to come across in motion, and what's going to happen is he's going to lead out here, down block here, down block here, down block here. We're going to run a little G scheme where the guard gets around this, and we're trying to open this alley off of this last tight end here. Now, Hamilton's going to follow him. We're going to get into the motion here. Now, here we go, just after the snap. You see Hamilton, man-to-man, and it sounds, again, funny on an offensive lineman, but he's got to go. That's his assignment. If he doesn't go, they'll go play action. They'll throw it to him. Now, what Hamilton has to see here on the move is, number one, his man in coverage, no matter who it is. And number two, now he still has to make the run read getting over here, right? Because we're getting, see it right here, down blocks, helping out, down block, and we're just trying to clear the way. This guard's going to pull inside, hit the first inside thing he sees. This pulling tackle, he's going to hit the first outside thing he sees. You can see the alley right there. So Hamilton's got to read this on the fly, not knowing, his key from an original spot. He's got to do this in motion. So what the good part about this is he understands, okay, I have to get outside. My linebacker here is going to take the inside shoulder, and now we've got all the gaps covered again. The fact that both of these guys, him and Jake Hummel, the linebacker, execute this is such a high level. When you look at this, there's a lot that could have gone wrong here. The seal here is good. The motion man has the seal here is good. Now you have one puller, and the big thing is you have to have the gap discipline to know he's got inside when this comes, he's got outside when this comes. Now all the gaps are filled. See this? Where is DeAndre Swift supposed to go? He's going to just try to power through. Is that going to happen? No. Hummel beats his block. Hamilton is where he needs to be as a linebacker on this play, and we stuff things at the 1 yard line. In the run game, you would never know he was a safety. This is a linebacker. He's basically operating as a linebacker. Let's get into the passing game a little bit different role now. Again, closer to the line of scrimmage. And one thing that the Ravens can do is use Hamilton down in here as a linebacker or as even kind of a flat defender, because you still have, here's Alohi Gilman, here's Malachi Starks. They can play 2 high coverages and still feel good about any run or pass look. So what's going to happen here with the Miami Dolphins? We've got a motion here from Ollie Gordon. He's going to come out here. We're just going to run a little bubble screen right out here. And what's going to happen? We're going to get a block out. We're going to get a lead block. That's Malik Washington trying to block Kyle Hamilton. Tough assignment. Malik Washington's what? All of 5'9" and 190, maybe 200 pounds trying to block Kyle Hamilton. Here he is right here, and we're going to get some offensive linemen releasing out. Now again, the play before the play. What is going to happen here with Kyle Hamilton, and what is his job? When we get to where Ollie Gordon is catching this football, Kyle Hamilton knows, hey, first and foremost, obviously you want to beat the block and possibly make a play on a ball, but first and foremost, attack outside in. You can see it. Gordon is just now catching the ball, and Hamilton's going, okay, even if I get blocked here, even if, okay, we give up a few yards here, if I know if I give up the sideline, he's gone. He's free on a free safety, he's gone, he might score, right? So that's a problem. So attacking outside in, understanding that if you're a ball carrier, you'd rather be out here than in here with 1, 2, 3, 4 all coming through the alley, right? But the fact that Hamilton attacks us on the outside so hard against a smaller guy makes the play here. Here we go again. Not only makes the play into the backfield, really forces it. Doesn't even give Washington a chance to make this block. Obviously, he's outmatched here, so Ollie Gordon has to cut it up. We got to go into all the muck right in here. Only gain about 2 or 3 yards on it. Understanding how to play this down near the line of scrimmage in the screen game and being physical on flatter routes down near the line of scrimmage. That's big time. That's stuff that you would see the great linebackers do, right? The Fred Warners and the Demario Davises of the world. Kyle Hamilton can get out in space and do that. And one last thing when you talk about, there's the tackle for the short game there. One last thing you talk about, now it's getting real fun because what we're going to do with him, not only can he play linebacker, he can play safety. You know what? At 6'4" and right around 225, 230 pounds.
Playing wide 9 edge rusher.
He doesn't look all that unnatural out here off the edge. And we've seen this. There's different looks where we've seen him even blitzing on the inside here. But what you're going to get from Minnesota is a play action with a full slide protection going this way. Full slide. Everybody's taking the gap over their right shoulder. And if there's nothing here for the right tackle, he's going to help in here. That's fine. McCarthy, play action. Jordan Mason's going to get out here on the edge. Everyone else is folding down, so he has to take the threat off of the edge. That's going to be Kyle Hamilton. Hawkinson's going to bump and leave to the corner. We got a curl flat concept coming out here with this motion out there on the outside. But basically what you have here is a situation with this play action where Kyle Hamilton is one-on-one with a tailback. Now, for any of you great edge rushers, right, your Micah Parsons and Will Andersons and Myles Garrett's of the world, they get one-on-one with a running back. You're going to feel pretty good about it, right? Now, the Ravens feel like that with Kyle Hamilton going, you know what? We can just put him off the edge, put him one-on-one with a tailback, and we're going to be just fine. Here we go. Full slide. You see it. McCarthy's in the fake. Full slide. He's getting isolated now. Jordan Mason on Kyle Hamilton. You can already see it coming one-on-one. If Mason can win this battle and pick it up, we're going to get a completion to the outside. If he can't, we have a problem. Now, this problem happens a lot more with Kyle Hamilton than any other safety basically in football right now. You move this up. Here we go. Side. Shoulder shake, sidestep, get inside, and even if you're not going to get the sack, get your hands on the football. This is one of 2 batted passes he had here against Minnesota. He can play at all 3 levels of a defense, and the luxury of having Kyle Hamilton is that he can just do any of it. Last year was more so at free safety. They needed a backbone in coverage. He was that guy. This year they have Malachi Starks back there. He's got an interception 2 games in a row. He can be that guy, while Kyle Hamilton is basically now, when you think about him playing like say Zach Baun for the Philadelphia Eagles, linebacker, edge player, do all of that. He's just such a special football player. And when you talk about a guy who's positionless and you can do anything you want to, he's really the guy that, once again, the second year in a row, is transforming this Ravens defense with his role.
Swiss Army knife, chess piece, whatever you want to call him. Kyle Hamilton is one of the most versatile players in the NFL. He's a major reason why Baltimore is making a comeback in this 2025 season.